thing that basically fulfills a negative impression of Obama, that there's certain constituencies he can't win. By putting her on the ticket or by putting her out on the campaign trail conspicuously for him, he's basically validating that assumption. The Obama campaign would just as soon not. They believe they can get those Hillary Clinton constituencies with or without her. They'll use her as they need to, but they want to prove they can get them without her first.
Yeah, well, she will certainly, I guess, want to campaign a lot. Where would she be the most effective? I mean, he'll get the women anyway, won't he? So where would she make a difference?
Well, she believes she would be most effective in Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, because she was there and she fought for those two places, Florida and Michigan. She will say, or they believe, that Obama didn't. The Obama campaign believes they can catch back up in Pennsylvania, Ohio. They could probably use Hillary Clinton's help in Florida and probably in Michigan. But the other thing is, the Obama campaign always talks about this 50-state map that they're going to expand and get into McCain and Republican territory. They can do that. They believe they can do that on their own without Hillary. And Hillary provides so many complications. And I just want to identify one. I started talking about this almost 2 weeks ago. You began seeing it at the Wall Street Journal, elsewhere this week. Remember, during this campaign, the Obama campaign said one thing and one thing specifically about Clintons and their paper trail. They must release all records about the foundation and the library. Well, if they're going to vet Hillary Clinton as a vice presidential running mate, that's question number one. They may not be willing to do it, and that could end the conversation right then and there.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting one right there. I agree. Well, Major, look, I have another question, though, and that is, while Hillary Clinton suspended her campaign, endorsed Obama, she did not release her delegates. Why not?
I have three letters for you, H, L, and M. Let me take them in order. H for hedging. She's hedging her bets. Something could happen to Obama. The polls could crater. There could be a sense of distress among Democratic Party, and though it's extremely unlikely, she holds on to her delegates. She still goes to Denver with her delegates in her pocket, could be put back on the ticket. Highly, highly, highly unlikely, but she hasn't ruled it out, so hedging is one thing. Leverage. In all conversations about debt, vice president, how do you use me in the campaign, universal health care being strong on the platform, her delegates in her back pocket give her leverage. The last one, M, is for money. She wants to keep her campaign alive so she can continue to raise money to try to buy down some of that debt. 3 emails went out from the Clinton campaign in the last 24 hours, all about the speech, a video of the speech. Everyone at the bottom has the same red and white button. Contribute now. There you go.
Well, that was a pretty sweeping answer. I'll try again on this one. Why didn't she mention McCain and attack him? Look, he's Obama's opponent, and she didn't mention him today.
Look, the Clinton campaign, as I understand it from senior advisors, knew this speech was going to be very heavily scrutinized. They felt if they put McCain in this speech, there'd be some Democrats, possibly in the Obama camp, that would say, aha, she still hasn't given up the idea of being the nominee. That's our job to attack McCain. They wanted to basically do two things in this speech. Talk to their supporters and explain the historic nature of this first woman getting so close, 18 million votes, etc. Also, endorse Obama unequivocally with lots of language that people could point to that she supports him. That's all they wanted to do. They thought McCain would be extraneous and possibly open her to criticism. They believe she's had far too much of that.
Hey, Major, let me ask you about what happened between Tuesday and today. I mean, Tuesday, was all about her, and she didn't concede and so on. Did her people say, wait a minute here, if you want to get anywhere, you got to do this? And what was the process? And also, did she really try to make a play for to push him to put her on the ticket?
She says no, and her people say no, but I think it's pretty obvious to all of us that if you're asked on Tuesday, the day Obama's going to get the nomination by dint of winning the necessary number of delegates, and you're asked, would you be open to the vice presidency, you can say, look, I'm not going to talk about that now. That's not for today. Instead, she said, yes, I'm open to it, elevating that to speculation, far past speculation, and making it a live issue. She could have answered differently. That she did not obviously means she made a conscious effort at some level to inject herself into that conversation. What happened from Tuesday until now is it wasn't her staff that told her to change. It was members of Congress. Her friend Charlie Rangel from New York, Norm Dix of Washington, and Barney Frank of Massachusetts, among others, said this has got to be wrapped up sooner rather than later. You've got till Friday to make an announcement, and this weekend to end it all.
Major, John McCain has proposed that he and Obama do 10 town hall meetings together, and it'll be all the new politics and so on this summer. Obama's campaign does not seem to be real excited about that. What are they going to do?
Well, I think they were taken a bit off guard by that. At one level, they were excited because they figured the challenger, the one who always believes is trailing, is the one who says, I want to debate you more. So on that level, they felt it was a tactical win. But the idea of these town halls sort of left them a little bit off guard, and they said, well, how about Lincoln Douglas? Well, look, not only does no one in America remember Lincoln Douglas, but that's not really a very spontaneous or free-flowing format. That's about the most rigid format you can have. And so that was just sort of their placeholder response. They're going to have an open dialogue, they say, with McCain about this. Bottom line, you gentlemen both know this. Debate decisions are made on the trajectory of polls and where your campaign is and where you expect it to be in the next 6 to 8 weeks. The Obama campaign does not feel it have a sharp read on that for at least 2 weeks, maybe 3.
Thanks, Major. Coming up, Bill Clinton's parting shot at the media and at Barack Obama, and John McCain challenges Obama to a series of town hall-style debates. We'll tell you why we think that's a smart move for McCain.
What is Dan Rather doing hanging out with far-left extremists? Plus, as Obama discusses Hillary's VP chances, what's Barack's body language revealing? Monday on The O'Reilly Factor.
It's the latest in communication, entertainment, and exhilaration. The 300 horsepower Acura MDX. It's next generation luxury. Acura Advance.
Take advantage of attractive financing on select Acura models for well-qualified customers.
One day, in a magical place just off the boot of Italy, the ultimate focaccia crust pizza was born. Focaccia kissed by the virgin olive oil. Focaccia made love to by fine herbs and cheese.
Behold, Di Giorno Ultimate Focaccia Crust Pizza!
For a slice of authentic Italian taste, come to Di Giorno Ultimate.
Every Thursday on True TV.
How you doing?
You know why I stopped you tonight? They're the weirdest,
My car doesn't like to go under 40.
the craziest,
What happened to the days where you could flash cleavage and get out of a ticket?
Amen, bro.
the stupidest
I'm trying to get on to use the bathroom.
excuses yet.
You thought I was a stripper?
Speeders. An all-new episode every Thursday at 8. On True TV. Not reality, actuality.
I flirt, I flash, nothing.
Comcast video and high-speed internet, but by adding Comcast phone service, I became a VIP.
Comcast built their phone service from the ground up.
They monitor their network 24/7 for reliability.
I get tons of free calling features.
Unlimited nationwide calling.
And as a VIP, I only pay $33 a month and got a free DVR.
I save almost 30% over the phone company.
I guess that's what it means to be a VIP.
Championship rocked the O2 Arena in front of a sold-out crowd of 18,000. On Saturday, June 7th, the famed London Arena once again plays host for UFC 85. See Matt Hughes, the Irish hand grenade Marcus Davis, Sugar Rashad Evans, Brandon the Truth Vera, and England's own Michael the Count Bisping. The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 85, live Saturday, June 7th from the O2 Arena, only on Events in Demand pay-per-view.
But I'm not going to bed. I'm going to college online to get a degree. Education Connection will connect you to the right online college for free. And log on now and Education Connection will send you their free success kit stuffed with information on online schools, scholarships, even degrees that take the least amount of time. This is a $100 value and it's yours free.
Log on now to 55edconnect.com. That's 55edconnect.com.
Welcome back to the Beltway Boys. Let's check out the ups and downs for the week. Up, John McCain. His challenge to Obama to join him for a series of town hall-style debates is a smart move. Check out McCain in a formal speech versus McCain in a town hall setting. Watch.
Both Senator Obama and I promise we will end Washington's stagnant, unproductive partisanship. But one of us has a record of working to do that, and one of us doesn't. I walked by this one great big guy, bigger than Fred, carrying a sign. He looked down at me and he said, "Say, does anybody ever tell you look a lot like Senator John McCain?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Doesn't it just make you mad as heck?" So
he does have a weird sense of humor. I kind of like it. And this is a clever ploy. I mean, he's good at the town hall meetings, and Obama, I don't think is quite as good, though he's not bad, but McCain's particularly not good at set speeches, and that's Obama's strongest suit. You know, we saw the one on Tuesday. And besides, you know, proposing these 10 town hall meetings where they go together is really playing on Obama's theme. You know, I'm the new politics. No more politics as usual. It's going to be hard for Obama to say no, although I think he's quite capable of it if he thinks he's going to win the presidency without these. Now, you know, Lincoln-Douglas debates, as we just heard from Major, you know, they're the most structured of all. You know, one guy talks for an hour, the next guy for 90 minutes, and the other guy talks for 30 minutes. No spontaneity, nothing, no questions or anything. So there is a way to have a town hall meeting that Obama might agree to, and that is where you limit the subject matter that they can be asked about. You know, nothing about Reverend Wright, nothing about Tony Rezko, nothing about any of those Israel haters who are friends or backers of Obama.
Yeah, look, I think it was a good ploy on McCain's part. I think that Obama has to take up the challenge, or else he looks like he's ducking. But I think Obama is entirely capable of handling any kind of question, and the quicker he gets questions about Wright out of the way, again, let people ask him whatever they want, and he can handle it. He's good enough at those kind of things. Now, McCain is also spending a lot of money on a national security ad that basically adopts the old Bush theme that I can make you safe, implying that Obama can't. This is at a time, however, when topic A has switched decisively to the economy, especially with this week, with the stock market going down 400 points on Friday and oil prices spiking up again and the unemployment rate going to 5.5%. I think McCain's got to get to the economy and prove that he's got something to say there.
Yeah, he will, but he's got to win a national security argument as well at some point. Anyway, all right, down Bill Clinton. He lost it this week when a Vanity Fair piece surfaced that repeated rumors about his alleged womanizing and questionable business relationships. Mr. Clinton called Vanity Fair's Todd Purdum, quote, I'm going to smile here, sleazy, dishonest, slimy, and a scumbag. All right. But Clinton also said the article had political motives, Mort, and he had a harsh accusation for Barack Obama. Listen.
Part of the national media's attempt to nail Hillary for Obama. It's just the most biased press coverage of modern history. It's another way of helping Obama. They had all these people standing up in his church cheering, calling Hillary a white racist, and he didn't do anything about it. The first day he said, but that's what they do. He gets other people to slime her.
Well, you know, I think Clinton had a case against Todd Purdum, who acknowledged in his own article that he had no proof about these sex rumors that he proceeded to unfold in loving detail.
It didn't stop you from finishing the article, did it?
And he's right. The media has been in the tank for Obama. You know, but I don't think that Obama had any obligation to counter what Father Flager said about Hillary Clinton in that thing. What Obama's job was, and he took it, was to get out of that church as fast as he possibly could, because that was the last straw. He was very late on that move.
Bill Clinton, don't you think, is a big loser in this campaign?
I do.
Remember, he entered it backing his wife as the most popular Democrat in America. He exits it, I think, as much less popular, and his political career, I don't know what it might have been anyway, but is really over. Now, she could have one if Obama doesn't get elected or fails as president. It's not over for her.
Yeah. Down, California Democratic Senator Barbara Boxer. Her climate change bill died in the Senate this week over fears that the capping of greenhouse gases will push up already sky-high energy prices. Here's an almost giddy Mitch McConnell, Republican leader, on that prospect this week. Watch.
With gas prices being the number one issue in America, they bring up a bill, as Senator Alexander pointed out, that objective analysis concludes it's going to raise gas taxes 53 cents. We're happy for this debate. We're thrilled about it. I've never seen my members so excited in recent times over getting out on the floor and talking about a really, really bad proposal.
Mort, I think you can drop the word almost. You said almost giddy. I think he was giddy, and he should. I mean, just on the politics of this, an incredible mistake to bring up a global warming bill that would increase gas prices over time at a time when gas prices are the thing that infuriates the public the most at $4 a gallon. And Republicans have now got an issue. They're in favor of dealing with supply and demand by increasing production here in the United States, offshore, Alaska, and so on. And Democrats are against any increased oil production. And you know why? because they're a wholly owned subsidiary of the environmental lobby.
Yeah, well, I agree that cap and trade is a lousy system, but the Republicans were demagoguing this issue. That bill would not raise gasoline prices until 2012. It doesn't take effect until 2012.
All right, don't go anywhere. The Buzz is coming up next.
When it comes to treating frequent heartburn, Prilosec OTC is the only name I trust. My doctor recommends it, so I just know I can count on it for my heartburn, and I won't miss out on life. Try Prilosec OTC, the round-the-clock heartburn blocker.
Get no payments, no interest for 12 months on store-wide purchases totaling $2.99 or more with your Home Depot consumer credit card. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
What have you been doing?
Playing baseball.
Where's the ferry? Stop out. No boat? È un debacco, è un disastro. We could swim across. Swimming? Well, what's going on here?
Hi.
Engine trouble?
It's broken.
Well, maybe I've got an idea.
For auto, home, and business, Travelers.
It's not just the sun you should care about. It's your sunscreen. SPF measures UVB rays, not UVA rays. Rays that can cause skin damage, skin aging, and even skin cancer. That's why Neutrogena created Ultra Sheer with Helioplex. It provides the highest combined UVA and UVB protection. Get the best in sun protection. Ultra Sheer with Helioplex. Exclusively from Neutrogena. No wonder Neutrogena sunblock is recommended most by dermatologists.
Sick of traveling for meetings? Tired of paying through the nose for gas and airfare? Fed up with never getting enough work done? Then do more and travel less with GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is the award-winning online service that lets you hold meetings with people in multiple locations, right from your computer. All you need is an internet connection and a phone. Just log on to GoToMeeting.com and start your conference call. Attendees join online and see everything that's on your computer screen. Give presentations, product demos, training sessions, and more. Hold as many meetings as you want for one low flat rate. Do more and travel less with GoToMeeting. Try GoToMeeting right now free. Visit GoToMeeting.com and use promo code Fox News.
What's the buzz, Mort?
Remember I buzzed about Representative Mark Kirk's proposal to put Israel fully in the U.S. missile defense system? It's going to happen.
You know what surprised me? That's a good idea. It surprised me this week that the absence of a Senate majority in favor of the global warming bill. A majority is not there right now. Now we have 10 Democrats saying the bill has to be changed enormously. McCain says it has to have atomic nuclear power stuff in it. It's going to be hard to get one next year. That's all for the Beltway Boys this week. Join us next week when the boys will be back in town.
Could a woman really serve as commander-in-chief? Well, I think we answered that one. Could an African American really be our president? And Senator Obama has answered that one.
Crushing the hopes of her supporters and disappointing others who thought she would be the stronger candidate against Republican John McCain. The former First Lady ending her race for the White House today, throwing her unqualified support to Barack Obama, who said he was thrilled and honored to have it. Hi, everybody. I'm Geraldo Rivera, and even as Obama praised Clinton for shattering barriers on behalf of women everywhere, he will now be turning his own incredible page in history, soon to become the first black presidential nominee of a major U.S. political party. Hillary made her stirring concession speech to a mostly cheering crowd who heard Hillary suspend her campaign and urge her supporters to unite behind Barack Obama. But when Hillary mentioned his name, there were some scattered booing. They were kind of jarring. Major Garrett was there. Major, how you doing? You know, the speech and Hillary Clinton, unqualified support for Barack Obama, the audience somewhat less so. Does that portend, some unsettling news for Barack Obama?
I wouldn't want to read too much into it tonight, Geraldo, and here's why. That room was full of about 600, 700 of the most ardent Hillary supporters you could find in Washington, D.C. Some traveled some distance to get here for this Saturday event. So those folks were probably the least receptive audience in the country, short of those who are paid by Hillary Clinton on a daily basis to hear that she's leaving this race and she wants Barack Obama to be the next president. That being said, the Clinton campaign knows that their supporters are fiercely loyal, have developed a very emotional attachment to Senator Clinton, and it's going to take some time for them to get over the sense of frustration and to move toward Barack Obama. How much time? Well, I had a chance to talk to the chairman of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, Terry McAuliffe, on the Media Riser right after the speech. Let's take a quick listen to how he answered that question.
I think everybody ought to take a little time off. But listen, we were in this campaign for 17 months. I've been doing this a long time. I've won some, I've lost some. It's never fun losing. I mean, I'd rather be here as Hillary's announcing that she's the nominee. But you know what? We gave it all we had. We didn't leave any players on the playing field. And you know what? People were proud of what she accomplished. And you know what? She made it easier now for a woman to run for president of the United States.
So the basic McAuliffe's sense is it's going to take a couple of months. The Clinton campaign, for that reason, Geraldo, didn't want to have Barack Obama here today. Obama never offered to be here. That was really never going to happen because they said this sort of process of bringing the Clinton and Obama supporters is not going to happen in one jolt. It's going to take a long conversation, a good deal of persuasion, whether or not Hillary is on the ticket or not. And though she's no longer an official candidate, Geraldo, by suspending her campaign, she holds on to her delegates, she remains in the sidelines. And look, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, everyone is going to be sifting poll data to find out if her supporters are moving over to Obama. And if they're not, questions about Hillary on the ticket will arise again.
Major, just quickly, they're not really officially nominated until their party's conventions. So is it fair to say they won't be debating McCain-Obama debating this summer?
Oh, no, I think they will be. John McCain has asked for Barack Obama to consider having 10 town hall meetings. Obama said he's open to the idea, wants to debate it a little bit. But there's going to be no McCain-Obama interaction for at least a month or 6 weeks. Why? Because Obama wants to spend all that time defining himself as the Democratic nominee. Then he'll get to John McCain and these other issues.
Well, he's got some work to do. Major, thank you very much.
Sure.
Perhaps motivated by his need to convince her voters to swing to him and or because he really is considering her as a running mate, Obama could not have been more gracious to Clinton than he was on Tuesday night.
Senator Hillary Clinton has made history in this campaign. She has made history not just because she's a woman who has done what no woman has done before, but because she is a leader who inspires millions of Americans with her strength.
Before I get to the young GOP governor many think is the Republicans' best choice for vice president, what happens now with the Democrats? Will Obama offer Hill that second spot on the ticket?
I don't think there's ever been a tougher, and certainly there hasn't been a longer nominating fight, so give her due. But the fact is that we've won, across this country. We've won in all kinds of states.
That's one way of looking at it. Obama has won in all kinds of states, as David Axelrod, his chief strategist, says. But most of them are usually won by Republicans in November. And Obama hasn't won many of the swing states Democrats need in the general election. There's also the troubling fact that Obama lost 9 of the last 15 primaries to Clinton. And perhaps most troubling to his supporters, the Illinois senator lost many key Democratic constituencies to his former rival, leading the vote both wing of the party to push for her to be named his running mate. Here's Senator Dianne Feinstein the day after hosting the historic Obama-Clinton meeting at her Washington home.
It's not to say they can't be brought otherwise, but she does bring constituencies. Well, like women, like elderly, like working people, certain states that are critical to win. I also think it's a very good mix because it's a very historic ticket.
But as Kelly Wright reports, Obama's not jumping at the prospect, at least not yet.
Following Obama's historic moment of becoming the nation's first black candidate to become a presidential nominee, several Clinton supporters began pushing for Obama to pick Hillary as his running mate. Clinton's allies arguing that she would help Obama carry the white working class precincts as well as women throughout the general election. The Obama camp is resisting such pressure. The presumptive nominee instead naming his vice president search team, which would include Caroline Kennedy, Eric Holder, the deputy attorney general during the Bill Clinton presidency, and Jim Johnson, who helped search for the running mates of John Kerry and Walter Mondale. They will look at a number of potential running mates. Among the names that some Democratic strategists are suggesting for consideration include Virginia Senator Jim Webb, Governor Tim Kaine, also of Virginia, a staunch Obama supporter. Obama could also choose to continue to make history by naming a woman to be his vice president. Governors Janet Napolitano of Arizona and Kathleen Sebelius of Kansas, plus Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill, are all capable candidates for the position. Of course, the name that stands out right now because of those 18 million votes she garnered during her campaign is Hillary Clinton. The Clinton campaign is not pushing for the #2 spot, stating earlier that Senator Clinton will do whatever she can to help Obama win, but she is not seeking the vice presidency, and she also wanted to say that no one speaks for her but her. The choice here in choosing the vice presidential running mate will be Senator Obama and his alone. Back to you.
Kelly, thanks. Before we get much more reaction to today's Democratic Party developments, on the Republican side, some moderates are joining GOP conservatives in boosting Louisiana's newly elected 36-year-old Governor Bobby Jindal as the best choice to be John McCain's running mate. And Governor Jindal, who, as you know, spent the recent weekend as a guest at Senator McCain's summer house, joins me live from outside the governor's mansion in Baton Rouge. Governor, great to see you. How are you doing? Welcome aboard, and I'm going to incorporate the first question in that. What do you have to do? What do the Republicans have to do to get the disaffected Clinton voters into the John McCain column?
Well, Geraldo, great to talk to you again. Thank you again for your continued coverage of Louisiana's recovery. Look, I think the reason the Republican Party continues to lose elections starting in 2006 is the Republican Party got away from spending constraint, started defending corruption we never would have defended if it had happened in the other party, stopping a party of ideas and principles. This was the party in the 90s that brought us welfare reform, that brought us the balanced budget amendment, that brought all kinds of innovative ideas to govern the country. It's not enough to be a cheaper version of the Democratic Party. Now, the good news is I think a lot of independent voters are looking for a candidate in this race. They've not committed to a candidate yet. You've got to give Senator Obama his due. He is probably one of the greatest political speakers we've heard from in years. I think for Republicans to win in November, it is so important that we focus on substance. I think when voters look beyond the rhetoric, when they say which candidate has delivered change, when they look at the kind of change that Senator Obama is talking about, like raising our taxes, more government involvement in our health care, policies I think would be harmful for our national defense, I think there's a compelling case for Senator McCain to make, but it is so important the Republican Party get back to principles, get back to convictions. It's not enough to just campaign and say that vote against the other guy. Voters want to vote for somebody.
Okay, here's Tom Davis. He's a GOP moderate, Republican from Virginia. He's retiring this year. He says of you, Governor, as the son of immigrants from India, he would add an ethnic element to the GOP ticket without turning off any voters. Here's my question. If I go too far, just say, Geraldo, next question. But first of all, do you consider that you are a man of color, Governor?
Well, look, the reality is there's been so much made this year about identity politics. You know, the first woman to get this far, first African-American. A lot's been made about my background, my age, my parents' background. The reality is two things are true. One, we live in a great country. And what this shows is that it doesn't matter what your last name is, who you are, through hard work, education, there's no limit on what you can do in this great country, not only in politics, but in business and many other things. But secondly, I don't think voters vote because of an interesting background or story or age. Voters are looking to vote for who's the most qualified, capable person that shares their beliefs, that will do their best job. You know, the office of President of the United States is one of the most important offices in the entire world. I think voters are looking for who's best qualified. And in these uncertain times, economically and with foreign policy, they're looking for which candidate is ready on day one. There's no time for on-the-job training. So I think those are great secondary storylines. But the reality is voters are looking for who's the most qualified person.
Okay, I know for the record I didn't get a yes/no on that one, but I'll let that slide.
Well, look, the only color that matters is red, white, and blue.
Okay,
I think that we try to divide ourselves. we're all Americans. I think that's the most important thing.
Okay, that's fair enough. What about the obstacles presented by, I just lost a lot of money in the stock market yesterday. A lot of other Americans did. A lot of Americans lost a lot of money today with $4 or more gallon of gas in their vehicle. The war is, maybe going better, but it still drags on. There are a lot of drags on the GOP. Do you foresee an uphill battle for John McCain, despite his formidable candidacy and the fact that he is, in most regards, in almost every regard, such a wonderful candidate?
Well, I think we could use some straight talk in this country about our energy policy. We've got, the Democratic Party in D.C. is saying things like, let's raise taxes, let's reduce production, and we wonder why gasoline's so expensive. We know we need a comprehensive energy policy. We need alternative fuels. We need more nuclear reactors. We need more domestic production. We need conservation. We need renewables. We need biofuels. We haven't had that kind of rational energy policy. In D.C., you've got two extremes. One side says, only drill and don't do the other things. The other side says, no more domestic production. The reality is we need to have a rational discussion that says, we haven't built a new refinery in almost 30 years. We haven't built a new nuclear reactor in over 30 years. The Europeans are drilling off their coast. The French, the Japanese are building nuclear reactors. We have within our own power the ability to lower the price of energy and help our economy. Let's stop being so dependent on foreign countries.
The very impressive Governor Jindal, who, for the record, is half the age of John McCain. I'm not sure if that helps or hurts him, but a very, very impressive man. I appreciate you coming on, Governor. Thank you. I'm sure we'll be speaking again soon. When we come back, we'll analyze the state of the presidential race, and you'll see our exclusive interview with the family of the hit-and-run victim who lay unhelped on a crowded street.
This Father's Day, one great way to thank Dad is to get him a Bass Pro Shops gift card.
Or you could get him something a little bigger.
Get great gifts for Dad, like this Garmin GPS for only $169.88.
This is like cute best man good.
No, this is like burning this dress good.
Never having to stand in line at the ladies' room good.
Rich, creamy Yoplait yogurt. It is so good.
Not catching the bouquet good.
Exposing pork barrel politics.
It can be an addiction. It can be a cancer.
Lawmakers waste taxpayers billions, but are they profiting from your losses? We expose the scandal costing every American. Catch an encore of our critically acclaimed investigation Sunday. The captioning for this program is brought to you by
Arthritis keeps me up at night. Shaq gave me new Icy Hot PM.
The first Icy Hot with powerful PM relief to sleep and wake up pain-free.
Icy Hot PM. Lights out on pain.
Your evil army is complete.
Now, nothing can stop me from building my own Capital One credit card.
Make my rewards double point and a low interest rate.
Oops.
And I want a picture of kittens on it.
War kittens? No, just like regular cute kittens. Baby cats.
Introducing Capital One Card Lab. Customize your card by choosing your rewards, interest rate, even upload your own image at CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet?
Getting rid of plaque and tartar used to mean a painful trip to the dentist to scrape the plaque off your teeth. Now, make those dental visits easier and more pleasant with Biotene PBF mouthwash. Biotene PBF mouthwash's powerful dissolving action removes plaque and biofilm, which lead to tartar. Plus, it kills germs, freshens breath, and naturally whitens your teeth. Biotene PBF mouthwash, from the #1 brand recommended by dentists everywhere. Don't just clean, Biotene.
Are you one of those people who think you just can't learn a new language? It's not that you can't learn, it's that you've never tried Rosetta Stone.
I've probably learned more in the first 2 weeks than I have in months of taking formal classes.
Rosetta Stone is so fast and effective, it's used by the State Department, NASA, the U.S. Army, and Fortune 500 companies, and it's the world's leading language learning software.
This is not memorization at all. This is natural speaking, natural learning, and you will learn things that you would memorize in other courses, and you'll do it much easier and much faster.
And to help you get started right away, we'll send you your first lesson absolutely free when you call.
This really is a great program.
I believe that you can learn any language with this program.
It helps me do something I really want to do, which is to know another language.
So call now or visit our website and see for yourself why Rosetta Stone is the fastest way to learn a new language, guaranteed.
It's down to 2 candidates, and only one team takes you behind the scenes for every issue, every speech, and every battle. Turn to the team more Americans know to trust. The only place for fair and balanced coverage is America's election headquarters.
Thank you very much, Charlie and George, and thanks
Fox
to all
News
the
weather alert just getting right here. The National Weather Service says a large tornado is moving across Chicago's south suburbs. Tornado on the ground about 6:30. That must be Central Time, and was moving northeast. So we'll give you, it's a slow-moving tornado, South Chicago. That's actually Barack Obama's old neighborhood. She got 18 million, Hillary. Obama got 18 million, more or less. So with the Democratic Party split right down the middle after a bitter 5-month-long primary battle, the issue is, can Barack Obama bring those voters back together in time to beat the formidable candidacy of John McCain? Let's ask our terrific political panel. With me here in New York, Monica Crowley, Fox News contributor and syndicated radio host. Mark Lamont, Democratic strategist and Temple University professor, with us tonight from Philly. And Democratic strategist Julian Epstein, who's in D.C., where he attended the private event for Clinton supporters following her concession speech this afternoon. Julian, because you have the news there, let me start with you. What was said? Was it, we're going to get that vice presidency and keep going, or was it, we're going to fade away and go quietly into that good night?
No, I think quite clearly she believes, and President Clinton believes, that this has got to be the decision of Senator Obama, that there should be no pressure into making him...
You said President Clinton believes?
I think both of them believe that there should be no pressure put on Senator Obama. This has got to be Senator Obama's decision. I think today Hillary Clinton really becomes a heroine inside the Democratic Party. She won 9 out of the 14 last races. She won 4 to 5 months. She won all the swing states, many of the swing voters, yet I think she conceded in their most honorable and high-minded of ways. And so I think immediately she becomes a big heroine inside the party. As for VP, this has got to be Barack Obama's decision and his decision only.
Monica, we should go quietly?
I'll believe it come Denver. Look, this is a very formidable woman, and she has spent 30 years of her life working for this. So today should have been an emotional day for her, and it was. What was striking to me when I was watching this speech is the fact that Hillary Clinton never smiled. The only time she smiled, Geraldo, was when she was talking about her own candidacy and her own past and her own run. So I can still tell that there's some lingering bitterness here on the part of Hillary Clinton, that she in fact lost this, and lost it by such a narrow margin. I mean, keep in mind that the difference is only about 150 pledged delegates, which is essentially nothing. And because it's such a narrow split between Obama and Hillary, it sort of takes the heat off the red and blue split that we see in this country among Republicans and Democrats.
Dr. Lamont Hill, do you feel a sense of history today, or do you worry that race will trump this opportunity to make history?
Oh, no. I mean, this is absolutely a historic moment. As Hillary steps back, we're able to really turn a page in American history. When Barack Obama makes that acceptance speech officially in the nomination, it'll be the same day that Martin Luther King offered his I Have a Dream speech in 1963, and the same day that Emmett Till was killed in 1955. And so we're able to see a dramatic transition from racial terrorism in 1955 to perhaps having an African American in the White House in 2008. That's an extraordinary move in American history.
But do you worry, though, Mark, that her voters won't come back, that they'll desert to John McCain?
Oh, that's absolutely a legitimate worry, as is the idea that they may stay home. Historically, white voters often do not, particularly working-class white voters, don't vote their interests, they vote their skin color, and so that's a very dangerous maneuver. I'm not convinced, however, that bringing Hillary Clinton on the ticket will allow or will encourage white voters to actually vote for Barack at a sufficient rate.
Well, we'll debate that one. I thank you all. When we return, the victim's son takes us back to the scene of the notorious Hartford hit and run. Right after this.
Exclusive. It could be the closest presidential race ever. Which swing state will be the key to winning the historic election? Governors Tim Pawlenty and Tim Kaine react. Watch Fox News Sunday.
Booyah. Yes.
The new, easy-to-use Nikon D60 lets anyone capture a moving moment. With an interchangeable Nikkor lens for the sharp, rich images that make a Nikon a Nikon.
Got the shot. Very good.
The ultra-compact Nikon D60. And check out the highly awarded Nikon D300.
I'm Robert Shapiro. Over 1 million people have discovered how easy it is to use LegalZoom for important legal documents. At LegalZoom, we'll help you incorporate your business, file a patent, make a will, and more. You can complete our online questions in minutes. Then we'll prepare your legal documents and deliver them directly to you. So start your business, protect your family, launch your dreams. At LegalZoom.com, we put the law on your side.
This is where we make Raisin Bran Crunch.
Do they really put 2 scoops of raisins in every box?
Yeah, people have been asking that question ever since 1971 when Kellogg's introduced the 2-scoop concept.
And the cries for perfection were answered in 1998 when they added the crunchy flakes and granola clusters.
You guys should conduct this tour,
okay.
huh?
Okay. Well, so the crunch is
beautiful, isn't it?
What grade are you in?
18th.
Raisins, flakes, and honey oat clusters. They're quite a trio.
Raisin Bran Crunch!
From Kellogg.
Fair, straightforward pricing. That's what TD Ameritrade stands for. Think about it. Why pay investing fees you shouldn't have to, or account fees that aren't clear, like inactivity fees or maintenance fees? It's not right, and you know it. And the thing is, the other investment firms know it, but they do it anyway, and that's just not fair or straightforward. TD Ameritrade. Independence is the spirit that drives America's most successful investors.
If you're suffering from allergies or congestion, you can breathe freely again. Oasis Nasal Spray and Oasis Nasal Wash contain the magnesium-rich salt found only in the Dead Sea to actually reduce nasal and sinus swelling, so you can treat the source of the problem, not just the symptoms. Isn't it time you enjoyed life again? Use Oasis Nasal Spray and Oasis Nasal Wash. All natural, non-addictive, and clinically proven more effective. Available at your local drugstore.
Darn thing blew up.
I saved the planet from an asteroid the other day.
Yeah, I saved a whole school bus once. You know, kids.
Talk about savings. Get connected to your Comcast Triple Play service with Comcast Mover's Edge. Set up new service or transfer your cable TV, phone, and internet services online before you move. Visit Comcast.com/move for more information. Comcast Mover's Edge. It's Comcastic.
It was caught on tape and it was horrible. Surveillance video showing how an elderly man was struck down by 2 speeding cars and how long it took for anyone to respond to the victim. Craig investigates.
Somebody being hit by a car. Send an ambulance quick. He's hit hard. You get the license plate of the car? No. Send an ambulance quick.
Hartford, Connecticut. A week ago Friday, 2 speeding cars apparently chasing each other, driving on the wrong side of a 2-way street as 78-year-old Angel Torres, a retired forklift operator and longtime resident of the neighborhood, is blindsided.
One of the cars was an old Honda Accord 4-door.
911 calls are made, but none give anything but vague details of the vehicles. Worse, as the stricken senior is lying bleeding, no one approaches him for a full minute and a half.
The impact from the hit-and-run accident caused significant damage to Angel Torres, who's now resting here at the Hartford Hospital. I'm here with his son, Angel Arce. Angel, how's your dad doing today?
Well, he's doing a little better than he was, a couple weeks ago.
But there is permanent damage to your dad?
There's permanent damage to my dad, yes.
The hit and run left the 78-year-old struggling to stay alive, likely paralyzed from the neck down. His son has seen snapshots of Dad getting hit, his body slamming to the ground, and like most of us, he's outraged, both at the callousness of the driver and the indifference of the passers-by. On Friday, Angel went to the scene for the first time.
So it's right here, this is where it happened?
This is the spot where it happened, yes.
So this is a pretty busy neighborhood. A lot of apartments are looking down at this corner. I see people down the street looking out their windows. So you would think that a lot of witnesses would come forward to try and find these people who ran your father down, left him.
Yes, I thought they, we'll get a quick response right away, but it seems like people really don't want to talk.
The city of Hartford ranks among the top 10 most dangerous in the country, and Angel's working-class neighborhood is plagued by poverty and drugs. Fear of retribution and lack of trust in the police often limits cooperation.
They counted up to 9 vehicles that drove around your father as he laid out there in the street.
There's no excuse. I'm sorry. You was looking at a human being laying right there on that street. You don't even do that to a dog.
What they did to your father, just leave him?
Father, just leave him there.
And so far, no one has come forward with information in this case.
It's frustrated because, number one, my father's well known in this neighborhood because he goes down here to place his dominoes, and supposedly he got many friends there. Laying there by himself, was tough, knowing that many of his friends was right down here, right by the street. Anybody with information on what happened to my father, please call the Hartford Police Department. I'm asking the community for help. The family is asking the community for help. And if you guys are out there listening, you guys that did this terrible thing to my father, please turn yourself in.
This notorious hit and run has put a national spotlight on a city suffering a crime wave. On Monday, a former deputy mayor was beaten and robbed. On Thursday, a 14-year-old was killed. And later that same day, 2 others were shot dead. Trying to cool off what looks like a long, hot summer ahead, the state police have offered help. A good start will be solving the hit and run on Park Street. Geraldo? Craig, thanks. I'll probe the legalities of the people who saw that Hartford hit and run with Judge Janine Pirro and Kimberly Guilfoyle after the break. Also coming up, you'll meet an incredible woman who survived a car bombing, yet wants to return to Iraq.
Imagine changing a child's life with something as simple as an oil change. Get the Midas Touch Maintenance Package by June 28th, and Midas will donate $5 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Thanks, everybody. I've been using Head-On for about 1 year. At first, I had my doubts about the product. I think Head-On is a very good product and easy to use. I would recommend Head-On to my friends, my family, my mother. I think Head-On is amazing.
Head-On. Real people, real stories.
Welcome to America. Everything is in the car as we arranged.
You've reached your final destination.
Papa?
Surprise, Dad. This Father's Day, don't just buy stuff, do stuff. Like surprise your family. Get Dad the Sony Ericsson W580 slider from AT&T for free at Radio Shack.
Seoul, my story.
Hi, honey. I'm at Gyeongbok Palace in Seoul. See that? Nice, huh? So yesterday I did a temple stay at Bongwon-sa and I saw a Taekwondo festival. It was fantastic. Also, I went to Seoul N Tower for a great night view of the city, which I really enjoyed. I wish you were here with me. It would have been a lot of fun. Anyway, I love you. Bye.
From Seoul, Seoul of Asia.
Happiness is fat money. The pudgier, the portlier, the porkier, the better. Until August 15th, get an even chunkier rate of 3.50% APY. That's 9 times the national savings average. And watch your money get fatter with HSBCDirect.com. Open an online savings account and say goodbye to skinny savings. Brought to you by HSBC, the world's local bank.
At your Touchstone Energy Co-op, the power we send to your home comes from all over the place. So we figure it's up to us to take care of the one place we all call home. That's why co-ops all across the country are leading suppliers of renewable energy. And will continue to lead for one really good reason.
I'm Morgan Spurlock. On the next 30 days, an NFL star will live every athlete's worst nightmare.
Well, this is the chair. Go ahead and get in.
Super Bowl cornerback Ray Crockett spends 30 days in a wheelchair.
When I first got in the chair, I had a fear of how I would react.
I've been blessed. I could have had it way worse.
They say you don't know what you've got until it's gone.
I'm tired of being your taxi service.
Roll with it on the next 30 days.
Hey, you getting beat by a bunch of guys in wheelchairs.
All new next week, only on FX.
America's Newsroom, I'm Suzanne Senna. Severe weather hitting the Midwest tonight. Tornadoes tearing through 3 Chicago area counties. The twisters ripping things up in Cook, Lake, and Will counties. Police are reporting damage, quote, all over the place, including downed power lines, damaged houses, and flipped vehicles on the road. At least 1 person has been reported to be injured. Big Brown's trainer had guaranteed the first Triple Crown winner in 30 years, but it wasn't to be. Instead, 38-1 long shot, Atera led from wire to wire, leaving Big Brown in the dust dead last. Big Brown's jockey said his mount, previously undefeated at Belmont, just ran out of gas. And the Coast Guard searching for 6 people in the Gulf of Mexico who were competing in a boat race. Authorities saying they found a capsized boat fitting the description of one reported missing. There was no one on board. More headlines headed your way. Geraldo at Large returns right now, right here on Fox News Channel.
This is a Fox News weather alert. You're looking at live streaming video being sent in by Fox News photographer Dutch Wargo, who's following that storm I mentioned earlier. The tornado was near the Chicago south suburbs, now near Gary, Indiana, very close by. The storm there and others associated with it dumping as much as 10 inches of rain on soggy central Indiana on Saturday. It's threatening dams. It's forcing evacuations. It's inundating highways and sending the folks there are sending a scuba team to rescue residents from swamped homes. So I don't know how common this is, but again, a large tornado moved across Chicago's south suburbs. Now you're looking at live streaming video from Dutch Wargo, our photographer, just in the Gary, Indiana area, very close to Lake Michigan. They are very close to Chicago. Before we get to politics, I want to ask Judge Jeanine Pirro and Kimberly Guilfoyle their response to the outrageous activity or non-activity of those citizens in Hartford, Connecticut, where that elderly man was struck by 2 punks chasing each other, a Honda and a Toyota Camry. What's your reaction legally speaking?
Well, obviously shades of Kitty Genovese from 1964, when a serial murderer was stabbing someone and people just ignored it. But what you've got is
ignored her screams for help.
Yeah, while she was being stabbed to death, screaming for help. But what you've got here is vehicular assault at the very least, and possibly vehicular homicide. You've got leaving the scene of an accident. You've got drag racing, and make no mistake that this sentence, if there is one, and I'm sure they're going to find out who these guys are, they will get the maximum sentence allowed by law. But what is disheartening is man's inhumanity to man. No one stepped out to try to even stop traffic in that situation. That's what's frightening.
No Good Samaritan law, though, Kimberly, unlike Massachusetts or Rhode Island, so no legal burden to do anything in Connecticut.
Personally, I'm in favor of a Good Samaritan law. I think it makes us better as a society. When we show compassion, we have humanity, we care about the person next to us. It's disheartening when you see a man suffering like that, a 78-year-old man, and for his son to see that no one would help his father is really just crushing in terms of the loss he must feel.
I mean, still, you know, the hotline numbers up there in Connecticut, if you are a witness to this deed, those people who called 911, for instance, get over your hesitance to work with the cops. Call the cops, 860-527-TIPS. 860-527-TIPS.
And they need to know that they are not obligated, that they cannot be in trouble for having driven by. Right. They should call now and tell people what they know.
Hopefully the FBI can enhance the video, maybe get the plate on there as well.
Hopefully. Okay, before we get back to politics, which we will be, we're starting a new weekly segment tonight, sampling my other job here at the network, Fridays at Fox.
I think the 9/11 families want to sit and listen to that hate.
Listen, the 9/11 families richly deserve the right to be in that courtroom, and that wasn't the audience that you were suggesting. You were suggesting that the public should not have to listen to that. The public has a democratic right to change the station. What distinguishes the United States from other countries is our transparent justice system. We are not ashamed of it. We are not embarrassed to bring these prosecutions. That's why Gitmo is essentially an anti-American establishment. I do not at any way favor
anti-American, Geraldo.
It is anti-American
giving
justice.
These people the rights that we give. If you got arrested,
why don't we try them in New Jersey? What are we afraid of?
Because there's a reason we kept it down at Gitmo, because we didn't want to give them the same rights as they would get
in a military tribunal. They don't have the rights. They don't have the rights, Megan.
The rights that you would get if you were arrested. He is not getting the rights.
I have stated before. It is not beyond a reasonable doubt. It is evidence that would convince a reasonable person. It is not unanimity. It is 2/3 of the majority of the tribunal.
More than he would have gotten had he been shot on the battlefield.
I started my remarks by saying he richly deserved to be killed on the battlefield.
Let him be charged with trespassing. Give him a misdemeanor.
Yeah, well, you know what?
You get a couple of those, and that too.
And we were all so disgusted here in New York.
I'm going to climb the set. Right. We couldn't stop. We couldn't stop walking.
Oh no!
Don't do it! Don't do it!
This thing is going to fall over.
but I have to say that Hillary Clinton gets measured by a different yardstick. I think she deserved one night. I think we're being extremely unfair to her, the media generally speaking. I think it would be a great ticket.
Why is it that the constituency that she needed the most and that knew her the best deserted her?
You know, politicians are rats. They desert a sinking ship. They saw the writing on the wall. They want jobs and appointments and committee, designations going forward. They're not fools.
Well,
they are politicians. Are creeps.
Oh, well, you missed Brian Kilmeade in the corner there. Okay, we're gonna do a little of that every week. I mean, if you like it, you let us know. It doesn't take a political scientist to see how badly Barack needs to reach out to Hillary's constituents. Soccer moms, Latinos, white working class people. That's just the way it is.
Women and men, young and old, Latino and Asian, African American and Caucasian, rich, poor and middle class, gay and straight, you have stood with me.
Before we probe the difficulties facing Obama in crafting a new Democratic coalition, on the telephone, a dear man, a prominent Harvard professor, Charles Ogletree, who taught both Barack and Michelle Obama during their time as students at Cambridge. Professor Ogletree was also one of Obama's most important mentors at Harvard. Professor Ogletree, I could do a whole hour with you on this topic, but I just wonder, do you have a sense of history this night, now that Hillary has thrown in the towel, now that it is clear we'll have a black man as the nominee of a major U.S. Political party in the race for the presidency?
Well, Geraldo's a wonderful time. This is the 40th anniversary of the sad occasion of Dr. King's assassination and Bobby Kennedy's assassination. And we see both a white woman, Hillary Clinton, and a black man, Barack Obama, going the distance in this Democratic primary contest. And so it says a lot about America and how far we've come in those 40 years. So I really applauded Senator Clinton today because I think she stood tall. Her presentation today is going to go a long way in making sure that we solidify the role of women, serious candidates for every conceivable office. And I think, quite frankly, that if we're going to be successful as Democrats in November, it will only be through the blood, sweat, and tears of Hillary Clinton and her followers, because she knows how to fight this good fight. She's been to all those places, and she's going to help the Democrats carve a path as a supporter of this campaign and make sure that a Democrat's elected in November. Very impressed with what she said today and how broad she was and how generous and sincere she was in supporting Senator Obama.
Do you have a guess as to what percentage of the American electorate will be affected most by race for ill?
I think it's going to be small because Iowa and Wisconsin and Oregon and Virginia tell us a lot about the America's appetite for someone who's talking about change. And I think people were shocked by Iowa because they didn't know Barack Obama. I think they'll be less shocked. And I think the problem, I don't buy the view that Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, these other places, are a sign of people's intolerance of a black candidate. They just don't know Barack Obama. Barack spent, almost all of 2007 in Iowa, in New Hampshire, and in South Carolina, trying to solidify a base in those early primary states. And as he spends more time in more places, he's going to find that people who get a chance to know him will make a big difference. This week-long travel across America, going to Appalachia, going to working-class families, I think you're going to see people saying, okay, at least I understand him and I can respect him. And with people like Hillary Clinton and Bill Richardson supporting him, with John Edwards and other parts of the Democratic ticket, I think it's going to be a remarkable run for the Democrats if they continue to focus on the fact that every single vote counts, every single person has to be respected, and no single state, whether it's marked red or blue, can be conceded to either party. You have to earn it, and I think Barack and Hillary are prepared to earn it.
Professor Charles Ogletree, thank you. Really.
Thank you, Geraldo.
Now to discuss the challenges facing Obama and courting Clinton's constituencies, especially women, especially Latinos, Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez of California, Hillary supporter, joins me. Great to see you. Her sister, by the way, Linda, is for Obama. But Congresswoman Sanchez, welcome, first of all. Great to see you. Do you think it's possible for Latinos, two-thirds of whom voted for Hillary Clinton, to now switch and become Barack Obama Democrats? Or will, as some like Leonel Sosa in Texas, a Republican, say, will McCain be competitive among Latinos, getting as many as 50% of them?
Well, I think the Latino base has, although it's registered predominantly Democratic, has always been one of those bases that moves between the parties depending on how well, how familiar they feel with the candidate. That's why you saw Hillary get such a large Latino base as she went through the primaries. So I think that Obama can do it. I think it's going to take some work. Certainly McCain, coming from a state like Arizona, which is heavy Latino-based, having worked on immigration issues with the Latino community, is a formidable opponent with respect to that. But I think that Obama has to learn the community better. I think there's a lot of people who want to help him learn that, and I think it's really going to be a race among that. But I think Latinos will come around and hopefully vote for him.
What about racism in the Latino community, Congresswoman Sanchez? We never talk about it, but it exists, and we know it exists.
Well, I would be remiss to say that there isn't, conflict between the black community and the Latino community, especially at the very grassroots level within the neighborhoods. I mean, when there's scarcity, whether there's competition for scarce resources, whether it's jobs or school, public schools and space and better public schools, etc. I think that there has been conflicts among the two communities. So it's dependent on the leadership of both communities to work together and to get down into the grassroots and to let them understand that Obama's policies will be better for Latinos.
Okay. Thank you, Congresswoman Sanchez. Appreciate it. We'll watch that one. Stand by, folks. We'll be right back with much more on this historic night in politics and the race for the White House.
If we can blast 50 women into space, we will someday launch a woman into the White House. Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it.
To prove you can dust less often with Pledge, we've placed Mary in this glass box and asked her to clean one side of this table with Pledge and the other with a dry dust rag. And now, we wait a week.
A week?
1 week later, and the Pledge side with its unique anti-dust formula looks less dusty.
It does.
Thanks, Mary.
Can I come out now?
Looks so good you can dust less often. That's the beauty of Pledge. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Thanks, have a nice day.
Life comes at you fast, and then it hits you. Is my car insurance any good? With Nationwide Insurance, you get 24/7 claims processing at a savings of up to $500 when you switch. Call 1-888-891-0120, and you'll also get a 100% written guarantee on claims repairs at a savings of up to $500 when you switch. Plus, get a free Nationwide on-your-side review to find out exactly the coverage you need, including discounts you might not even know about. And don't forget about the whole $500 savings when you switch.
Hello, Nationwide.
Call Nationwide Insurance or contact an agent to get your free on-your-side review and see how much you can save when you switch. Better call for better coverage. 1-888-891-0120.
Nationwide is on your side.
Tired of another sleepless night? For help falling asleep and staying asleep, there's 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer helps you fall asleep fast, but unlike other sleep aids, there's a second layer that helps you stay asleep. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Ask your prescriber about Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
Hey, honey, did you pack my flip-flops?
What, hon?
Did you pack my flip-flops?
What?
I can't find my... I need my... Really?
Travelocity will contact you ahead of time if your hotel's undergoing construction.
It's gonna be great. It's going to be a big week.
Part of the Travelocity guarantee. Travelocity. You'll never roam alone.
Now I create my own Capital One credit card. Set rewards to cash back.
Yes, master.
And a low interest rate. Oh, and I want that photo of me and Astrid. Yes, that's it. Now hit the switch! It's alive! No, it's not. Well, not literally. It's not.
Introducing Capital One Card Lab. Customize your card by choosing your rewards, interest rate, even upload your own image at CapitalOne.com.
What's in your wallet?
Those 40 years, our country has voted 10 times for president. Democrats won only 3 of those times, and the man who won 2 of those elections is with us today.
She's referring, of course, to her husband, the former President Bill Clinton. What impact will he have on Obama's choice of vice president? 2 excellent political reporters join me now on that issue. They are Amanda Carpenter of townhall.com and Charlie Hurd of our own New York Post. Amanda, you first. You know, the Vanity Fair article came out. You know, he made a lot of controversial statements during the race, beginning in South Carolina, where he said, well, Jesse Jackson won here, too. Do you think the president was a net negative? And do you think, ironically, in vetting him, Hillary's chances will be reduced?
Yeah, I certainly think that Bill Clinton adds baggage to the potential likelihood of a vice presidential slot for Hillary, just for the fact that there's almost no chance that he's going to sit down to any kind of vetting process. One of the few things that actually was documented in that Vanity Fair article was the fact that he has a lot of questionable international dealings, and putting him as a vice president, the president's husband, with access and clout that comes with that connection, I think makes for uncomfortable questions for Barack Obama.
Charlie, before I ask you the same question, I want to play a soundbite from President Clinton responding to Todd Purnham, the author of the Vanity Fair article, in a kind of a gross way. Todd, ironically, the husband of Dee Dee Myers, his former press secretary. So here's the president on Todd Purnham.
Mr. President, what do you think about that hatchet job somebody did on you on Vanity Fair at the end of the race?
Sleazy. He's a really dishonest reporter. And one of our guys talked to him, and he said he wouldn't do any of it. But I haven't read it, but the guy told me there's 5 or 6 just blatant lies in there. But he's a real slimy guy.
Yeah, it's all over cable news.
Totally slimy. Just blow it off.
But he's married to Dee Dee Myers?
Yeah, but that's all right. He's still a scumbag.
He's still a scumbag, Charlie.
Well, you know, if Hillary Clinton can't keep Bill on a tight leash, then Barack Obama certainly can't. And so I think that creates an enormous problem for Hillary if she really wants to be vice president. But I would actually argue that A, she doesn't want to be vice president, and B, not in a million years would Barack Obama pick her as vice president anyway. It would be a tremendous sign of weakness for him to do that. And quite frankly, the voters that she collected, in the primaries were as much voting against Barack Obama as they were voting for her. And I honestly don't think that she can bring them back to the table just because she's on the ticket, as long as, Obama's still at the top of that ticket.
Amanda, do you agree? Charlie's been pretty hard on Hillary this race, but do you agree?
Well, I think there's 2 great ironies in this whole situation. The first of which is that Bill Clinton ultimately ruined Hillary's chances of becoming the first female president, and that's not a victory for feminism in any way. And the second of which is that I think Hillary Clinton makes it more unlikely that Barack Obama can pick any woman to be vice president, because say he picks Catherine Sebelius to be his VP slot, Hillary supporters will stand up and say, why not Hillary? Her resume beats Kathleen's.
I agree.
And so I don't think he can pick a woman at all because of Hillary.
Well, unless he picks Hillary. I want to thank you both, Amanda and Charles Hurd. Thank you. Amanda Carpenter, Charles Hurd, but not together. But thank you for being on board. When we come back, her courage is incredible. Nearly killed in a roadside bombing. You are about to meet a reporter who wants to go back despite her injuries.
On the case, on the scene, and on the record. The crimes, the facts, the investigation. No one pushes harder for answers. Nothing gets by Greta.
Nearly 400,000 in Texas.
More than 250,000 in California.
From the Aloha State of Hawaii
to the Free State of Maryland.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. The PPA buses, sponsored by America's pharmaceutical research companies, have been to all 50 states, helping nearly 5 million people who are uninsured and struggling.
Call 1-888-4PPA now.
Tell a trained specialist the names of your medicines.
You could get them for free or nearly free.
Because America's pharmaceutical research companies want to help.
I climb to make my heart one dare stronger. I take the stairs to make my heart one flight stronger.
One piggyback ride stronger.
One really far parking space stronger. One walk with Titus. One day trying something new.
Stronger.
Stronger. Stronger.
And I ate Kellogg's Smart Start to help make my heart one bowl stronger.
Who knew antioxidants could taste like maple brown sugar?
One sweet, crunchy bowl stronger.
One bowl stronger.
Kellogg's Smart Start. One bowl stronger.
Turn your house into the home of your dreams with this Home In on a Tip.
Quality kitchen improvements add value to any home. Sellers get more return on investment for improvements made to kitchens and bathrooms than any other room in the house. What you've achieved is what we want every seller to achieve, and that's creating a room that is neutral but still warm and cozy and appealing.
Brought to you by Edelin Custom Exteriors, offering quality windows and doors.
Coming to On Demand from Comcast. Don't miss a moment because this season, the family fights back.
I'm not happy.
Let them speak now or forever hold their peace.
Premiere episodes every Sunday night at 9 on WeTV. Watch it anytime the day after it airs from WeTV On Demand and Comcast Digital Cable. Bridezillas is also available in HD On Demand from Comcast.
What are you thinking?
I love you.
No, don't do it. He's your brother. Rutabaga. Rutabaga! It's a carrot? Oh, come on!
Don't you dare go in that basement.
After years of trying to interact with your TV,
What did I just say?
it's time your TV responded. With Searchlight, it can. For information on just about anything, tune to channel 888 or select Searchlight from your on-demand menu. Searchlight. Demand more from your TV.
The street that Mike Riley loves our show. My question was, after he went down, where was that intensity?
That is going to be a great scene, man.
We're not splitting the atom here.
No. Very well said.
And I just tip my hat to you because you just own up to it.
I got golf to play, man.
I believe whether it's with this program or something else, you will be successful.
I still think there will be good times ahead this year. I'm the eternal optimist.
The Fan with Isaac and Big Soup, weekdays at 3 and encores every night.
Only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Every indicator shows that this new strategy is succeeding. Senator Obama was wrong. He wanted to surrender, and I will never surrender.
It may be out of the headlines for now, but the Iraq War will certainly be a major election issue, and few are as familiar with the horrors of that conflict as Peabody Award-winning CBS News correspondent Kimberly Dozier.
So every time American soldiers leave the security of their base, they know there's a good chance someone out there will try to kill them.
Almost exactly 2 years ago, Kimberly was grievously injured in Baghdad by a roadside bomb which killed her cameraman, her sound man, her Iraqi translator, and her U.S. Army escort. Kimberly's skull was pierced by shrapnel, her lower body burned, her eardrum shattered, among many other injuries. Somehow she survived. She's back reporting. She's written a compelling new book. I recommend it without reservation. It's called Breathing the Fire. I'm honored to welcome our colleague Kimberly Dozier to the program. Kimberly, great to see, how wonderful your recovery has been. What is this about you want to go back?
You know, I would like to go back to maybe the Green Zone, Camp Victory in Iraq, places that are safer. It's a story that I miss, but also there's the wider story across the Middle East, what's going on in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Israel. These are places where I grew up as a reporter. I miss it, and I'm hoping after this most historic election that the country's focus will shift back that way and that my bosses will let me go home.
It's interesting. You were born in Honolulu like Obama. You went to Wellesley like Hillary, but you're not a political pundit, and you're not endorsing a candidate, I assume. Be that,
not endorsing a candidate, no.
Be that as it may, I know that aside from telling your own gripping story, you wanted to tell the story of how wounded GIs are treated, how they fare, how people with who go through traumas are treated with a kind of subtle prejudice even after their recovery. Tell us more about that.
Well, you know, you fight to get back on your feet. You fight to get well. And it's months down the line. You're finally walking, maybe without a cane, hopefully without a limp like I am. I look normal. But people recognize me, and then they simply assume that I must be, if not messed up physically, messed up in the head and the heart, that there's no way to come back from an injury like that. And I've spoken to other injured troops who talk about the same thing. If you've been over and seen some horrible things and come back here, sometimes folks assume that you have post-traumatic stress disorder and assume that you're scarred for life. And that really annoys us.
Your dad, ironically, wounded as a U.S. Marine on Iwo Jima, I believe it was, certainly in the Pacific conflict. You must be a real hero to him.
The best thing about this was that my parents were not angry at me for getting injured. They understood why I was over there, and throughout the process, the military really took them into the military family, and that helped them deal with the fears that I might never walk again, the fears that I might never get back to reporting again. It is really awful for the families to stay in their soldier or Marine's room and watch them fight to get back to health. They're the real heroes. Some of one of the moms I met the other week in Walter Reed, she suspended her life and she's living in her son's room until he gets well.
We wish you the best. Breathing the Fire. If you read only one Iraq book, read that. Kimberly Dozier, thank you very much. We'll be right back, folks.
Great to talk.
Introducing Activon Maximum Strength Anti-Itch. Maximum Strength Itch medication in a convenient applicator. No messy creams, no itching, no scratching. Powerful itch relief without a prescription. Itchy skin, no more. Remember, Activon Maximum Strength Anti-Itch.
This is like cute best man good. No, this is like burning this dress good. Never having to stand in line at the ladies' room good.
Rich, creamy Yoplait yogurt. It is so good.
Not catching the bouquet good.
What's on the minds of independent investors? Let's ask.
When I trade, I want a straightforward price.
They lure you in with a $5.99 trade, then charge you $15.
You get a low price, but only if you make a ton of trades.
At TD Ameritrade, every online stock trade is just $9.99, period. No matter how often you trade, no matter how much money you have in the account.
I hate those hidden fees buried in the fine print.
Surprise! It's a maintenance fee.
I hate surprises.
At TD Ameritrade, you never pay a maintenance fee. You get low, straightforward pricing, so you always know exactly what you're paying.
Hey, that works for me.
Are you ready to declare your independence? Independence is the spirit that drives America's most successful investors.
Trade commission free for 30 days. Plus, get $100 cash when you open an account.
I was devastated. I had to reuse catheters for the rest of my life.
Holly was forced to reuse catheters. Her health benefits didn't cover her for a new sterile catheter every time she had to cath.
I was so sick of boiling and drying and reusing old catheters. Plus, I was getting urinary tract infections. Then my mom called. She read about Liberator Medical Supply. Well, I was nervous about calling strangers, but, well, these strangers, they quickly became my friends. Now I was qualified for a new sterile catheter every time I had to cath.
A new Medicare ruling now qualifies you for a new sterile catheter every time you cath. Call now, 800-683-4684, 800-683-4684.
My advice to everyone who has to reuse catheters, call Liberator. This call will change your life too.
We've all seen the ads saying you should take pills for foot fungus. But are you paying attention to the potential side effects and that it takes months to see results? Tiniocide addresses fungus on your feet and toes, and you can see improvement in as little as 2 weeks with no dangerous side effects. And you don't need a doctor's prescription. So try Tiniocide by Dr. Blaine.
Try my Tiniocide today. I guarantee it will work for you, or you'll get your money back.
Should Obama pick Hillary as his running mate?
Yes, she's got the Latino vote tied up. He needs it to win it. I don't think he's going to pick her, though.
You do not?
No.
Should he? Or
both? Should he? Would
no, he should not. Too much baggage with Bill Clinton. Remember, we're in a national race here. Negatives are too high. No, no, no.
So no. He shouldn't and he wouldn't.
And he won't.
Okay, that's it. See you next time.
Good evening. I'm Fox News anchor Patty Ann Brown, or as I'm known in Cat Fancy's online chat room.